Let's take a look at the last progression in our backstroke body positioning series, very popped here on our right side. So in our previous versions, what we've been working on is keeping a steady head, and we've been doing that by wearing or having an object on the head. And we were also doing that with the assistance of the fins. So now our athlete should be really, really strong with the familiarity of this drill. So now what we're going to want to work on is kind of putting everything together with no equipment. So let's go over those key items and what we look for. First thing we're going to look for here is going to be the kick. The kick is going to be our primary source of propulsion. We recommend this kick being done with a moderate to moderately strong kick. That way then our athletes can really move nice and forward as they're traveling through the water. We look for the toes here to be pointed. Here, this is an excellent example of that. See kind of how the foot and the toes, the ankle is pointing down, so we get great extension there through the ankle. And then we look for the same thing then out of the other foot right here. Again, we've got good extension through that ankle. The toes are pointed. And what we really like here as we're kicking, we're maintaining this level of turbulence at the surface. So see that right there, how we're getting this white water created. We also like to call this boiling water or a thunder kick. Essentially, again, it all means the same thing. You've probably heard this a lot with our long axis strokes. We just want to see the feet staying up at the surface. Because we're kicking here on the back, what we want our athletes to concentrate with is here on this foot, which is at a down portion, is when we're kicking up is to kick up aggressively. So kind of see there how it breaks the surface right there. This is, we asked our athlete to make an adjustment in between some of the drills, and things finally clicked for him here. But we want to kind of think about like we're kicking a ball at the surface. So we've got to be able to get and generate some force up with the feet, so that way that we're returning. Often a big thing that we see swimmers who are good kickers on their stomachs or in freestyle tend to struggle when they're going on their back to really kind of keep their feet up at the surface and deploy that same level of kick. When we're doing that, we should be able to get a great combination here of speed and power, and really getting great activation here from the hips, where we'll utilize the hamstrings and quadriceps, one of the strongest muscle groups in the body, as we're traveling through. We want to see the right side here very, very popped, and on the other side not, or down. Now, here you may have some swing between the shoulders or some swing here between the hips. That'll be to be expected. We really like this drill again for younger, probably this progression of the drill will be a little bit more developmental swimmers or young age groupers. Head here is staying nice and steady, and what we don't want to see is any rocking or any up and down either at the hips or with the chest right here. So we're doing a great job right there. And we just want to hold this pop position here, nice and relaxed, as we then are just traveling through the water. And our athlete's doing a really great job of that right here. And we just keep going. As we're going to switch here momentarily to, and you kind of see here before we switch, kind of that sway that we said. So we end up going from a very pop to a just pop position. It'll be all right. Just make sure that you keep working with your athletes on giving them feedback on some of those key items. Here on our underwater view, again, just great job of having these feet be really, really extended. This foot here that's down is going to really focus on driving itself up, creating this great turbulence that we kind of talked about. And then we have a lot of white water, so we can't really see anything more. Just essentially sometimes what we actually want to see. On our return view here, now our athlete is not as popped as before, so we can kind of see that here. Here we're just kind of popped with the hips and shoulders peeking out of the water. We would again just want to encourage them to get those hips and shoulders out so that they're together. Head here is staying nice and steady as we're traveling through. And again, our athlete got the memo about this really strong kick that we were missing in some of our earlier drills. So here, just again, we're also doing a nice job of holding that line, and you can kind of see again some swaying. It's going to be very expected as we're traveling through the water. So some strong conduit core activation here is going to be really what we would love to see, and it'll make this drill actually a lot easier. So we switch to the return view. Remember, non-stroking arm is also at our side. And just again, good perspective, hips and shoulders down, the other side is up. And we want to see the feet just to a little bit below the body here, and then focusing on that kick up. Nice steady head. Overall, our athletes doing a pretty good job with this drill. Overall here, if you found some great value out of this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe.